Peter, I guess you'll be champing at the bit now to get going because the competitive stuff's just round the corner.
It's the most important part, you know. Everybody's been looking forward to it. As you say, the first few games we've had has been having a look at everyone, obviously, and you've been going and watching all the matches with the boys involved, but now you're getting closer and closer. I know how the players must be feeling because I know as a staff we're getting excited about it, so it's something we're really looking forward to. And obviously the fact that Alex put the squad and that out, knowing the players that's available, now you're just hoping that they all keep a clean bill of health, and that's what we're looking forward to.
What do you feel you've learned from the get-togethers you've had so far?
I think just the players we've got and the systems and the styles we'd like to play, you know, who fits in to the way, because it used to be you just picked a team and picked a group of players and then tried to fit them in. I think now we've got to fix a style that suits the players that we have available. I think that's the most important thing, and I think the players have bought into that. I think they understand that. They come knowing that 90% of the time, 95% of the time, they're going to be playing the positions they play for their clubs, and I think that's very, very important, because there's nothing worse when you're turning up to play for your national team and you're asked to completely do something different that you've been asked to do at your club side, and then it becomes a challenge for you and a worry for you more than the actual game taking place.
The games that lie ahead, and obviously Belgium's going to be a hugely difficult test, but it's the warm-up for the one that's important. Is it fair to say, I mean, even at this stage, are you going to try and pick a team that can run into both games? Is it a case of now you're picking your first team?
Yeah. I think you've got to go to, listen, we're Scottish, we want to win in every game you play, so the preparation you've got to put in is for the match against Albania. We know that, we understand that, but the preparation from day one for the meet-up is all about doing the Belgium game and the Albanian game, making sure that they intertwine together with the team that they select, the way you want to play, that you want to, the stamp that you want to put on the game is the way that you're going to look to play your matches. And the players will be very, very much aware of what's been asked of them. They'll not be going into the game not understanding their role within the team. And I think that'd be very difficult to go from one extreme to the other in such a short period of time. We know tactics and technical ability ask for different things and positions you play, but definitely the two games will intertwine. There is absolutely no doubt of that, and if it means that players are starting both games and the same team starts both games, there is no problem with that, because the recovery now that players have now and the things that they have now shouldn't be a problem.
Is the biggest concern in this squad, if there is a concern, the fact that there's a doubt over where the goals are going to come from?
Yeah, but I think if you look at it and you see the boys that create chances, you know, and I think that's a big thing for us. You can get guys for the middle of the pitch. McGregor's more than capable of scoring goals, you know. Stuart Armstrong's more than capable of scoring goals. Lee Griffiths has proved it time and time again. I think Ollie McBurney's finding his feet, you know, coming in. I think there's creators, you know, you've got Kearney and that who's created 4 or 5 goals already this season. I think that's important for us because you have to create chances. I think the biggest thing is, if I think I spoke about it earlier, we look at the Mexico game, they wouldn't get enough bodies in the box. With this group of players, you're hoping that's going to be the difference, you know, that there's a lot more people hungry to score goals. It's not just going to be a centre forward. I think probably touched on it, and everybody touched it during the summertime about France. You know, the striker didn't score a goal, everybody else seemed to score. And I think that's going to be very, very important for us, that the goals are going to be shared. But you know, you've got quality, and the likes of Griffiths, you give them half a chance, he's more than capable against bidding any chance he gets against any company. So we have to create the chances and get people around about him to help him.
Is it a concern he's not really got firing yet this season? Maybe he was obviously injured and he's got a lot of competition at Celtic, but he's Scotland #1.
Yeah, of course, but listen, at the end of the day, that's football, and that's what we've got at this moment in time. You know, we can't tell Brendan how to pick his team. You'd like maybe playing every week, for sure, you know, we want to be scoring goals every week, but when he plays, he scores, you know, and that's very important. We know he gets in the right areas in the football pitch. It's that game sharpness, of course, that's a concern for everybody, because that's what any footballer, you know, that you want him to have that game sharpness. But you know, he's more than capable. If the chance finishes, falls to him in the box, I don't care how unfit he is, he'll put it in the back of the net. But we have to create the chances. As I say, we have to get other bodies in the box, and that's going to be very important. And I think Alex has said since he taken over, he wants to take the team to play that way, on the front foot, be enthusiastic, get forward, you know, play with a drive and a determination, show guts, show a freedom to express yourself. And I think all these things are going to be important. And where the goals come from, we're not caring, you know, because goals become, what was it, in the summertime, I think 30, 40 goals or some scored for set plays. So they become massive, you know, and so the delivery, so you build your team that way, you help your strikers out, because the first thing people look at, number 9, didn't score. It doesn't matter as long as the goals come from elsewhere, and that's what we're going to try and build. As I say, we've got creators, and we know we've got guys that can take chances. There's no doubt of that.
Someone you know very well is Tom Cairney. Obviously, we've not seen too much of him for Scotland, but is he somebody you think can be a really important player in this campaign? Absolutely.
I think the biggest skill he's got is the fact that he's comfortable in possession of the ball. Fulham playing a certain style, you know, they've done it for the last few years. Tom fits into it fantastically well. He's very much a creator of opportunities, but he's also a goal scorer, you know, and I think he's proven that over the last couple of years. He's been Player of the Year and Championship Team of the Year. We understand that. I think the first game here we didn't help him that much. In the Costa Rica game we didn't see the best of him, because you need people, as we're saying about building the jigsaw, so you need people running by Tom so you can step in and get on possession of the ball. So we've got to build a team round about the fact that helps these guys to perform at their best. And he's more than capable, and the great thing is he's playing at the highest level. You know, nowadays, you know, you're playing against the top players week in, week out, top international players week in, week out, and that can only make you think better. He's training with a group of players now, even at Fulham, which is much stronger than it was last year. They spent £104 million. So all of a sudden, you're playing against better players in training. And the manager likes changing the team now and again. So you've got to make sure I'm in the team week in, week out, because it doesn't matter if you're in the Premier League sitting on the bench. You want to be a Premier League player playing matches. And I think he's more than capable of playing at the highest level. He's got the qualities. There's no doubt of that. And hopefully we can see the best of him. And that's what we're going to try and achieve, bring the best out in these guys and our squad, because when they're playing at their best, they're very exciting players and players that the fans will love.
You mentioned that Costa Rica game. Was that a big learning process for him? Was that something that can help him in the long run in the Scotland career?
Yeah, sure. But the thing we learned from it as well is the situation we put him in, because obviously to create space for other people have got to move out your space, you know, and give the ball early. And I think that's the big thing. You have to move the ball quickly and play quickly forward, because he picks up fantastic places between the lines and gets on good positions and turns and faces the opposition up. In that particular game, we didn't do that quick enough. We passed square too early in the first half. Second half was much better, you know. But by that time, we'd changed the system a little bit, and it helped. But to get the best from Tom, you've got the right players round about him. And we genuinely feel in this group that we have got that group of players that can get the best from him. And I think that is what we're trying to say with the build with the group. There's some guys, excellent players, that's missed out. But it's maybe just at this moment in time, maybe the way the group's built is not going to suit the types of players at this moment in time, but they've still got a big part to play.
Just looking at the squad, and there's obviously notable exceptions, but there's a lot of inexperienced players, certainly internationally. Is that something that you've thought about? And do you think the kind of youthful enthusiasm will compensate for that?
Well, I think it's so important. If you can't get enthusiastic to playing for your country, you chuck it, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's the bottom line. Everybody wants to play for their country. We all had dreams of playing for a certain team or whatever, but the biggest thing was that you went and played for your country. That was the epitome. That meant you were doing well, exceptionally well for your club, and that is no different now. It shouldn't be any different, and all that boys proved that in Mexico and Peru, where the trip was fantastic. I know we got a lot of knocking, but the trip, it was fantastic for us, especially with the camaraderie of the group and what they represented over there. You know, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant to watch, and we've seen an enthusiasm in this young group that they wanted to play for Scotland. And I think that's massive, because money means nothing to a lot of these guys nowadays, because of some of them have got so much they could live for the rest of their days without kicking another ball. So the fact that they want to come and pull on the jersey and getting selected to pull for your jersey is fantastic, and that enthusiasm should never leave. So the young ones that's come into the group, I'm sure they'll be delighted, because I know what I'd be like if I was getting a phone call to tell me I was in the squad. You'd be sitting as happy as Larry, and everybody phoning you and telling you congratulations, and it's the best days of their life. And you can't, doesn't matter how much money you have, you can't buy these moments.
In terms of the youthfulness of that squad, is that another positive looking ahead to the full campaign, that, you know, these guys could be together and get that bond together that will work their way through the whole campaign as well? How crucial is that in a national team?
It's massive. You've got to build that unity, no matter what you're doing, you know, and you're hoping that players want to be part of it, you know, all the time. You know, that is the biggest thing you've got to try and build. And it's always easier building that when you're winning games of football and playing well, because everybody wants to be part of that. You know, people shy away when that's not particularly happening. So we understand that. We've got to try and build that. We're desperate to bring success to Scotland, you know. There's some fantastic performance over the years, but just never managed to get there. We're hoping we're going to get there. That is the biggest goal for everybody, to get to another championship. That is the aim from now to it finishes, to get there. And how we're going to get there is we're playing well, and these young boys turning up and putting in their club performances for Scotland, and that's all we ask for. And as I say, we're really looking forward to it, really excited about it. And I'm sure these young boys, this youthful enthusiasm that they have, plus the experience that you always need round about you. You know, guys that have been over the course before. Charlie McGrew was magnificent in Mexico and Peru, magnificent standards. And you can never forget that. And I think that's so, so important. But the balance, we think we're getting the balance right. As I say, you just hope they all keep fit and well and they're all available for selection come the Albania game especially.
How important is it that players are playing regularly for their clubs? Looking at this list, it's only maybe Scott McTominay that's not playing at his club at the moment.
Massive. And as I say, people are talking about John McGinn, about the Celtic thing, and I read a little bit here and there. I don't know if there was any truth in the fact, but they were saying that maybe he wasn't going to get as much game time at Celtic. If that was the case, he's made the right decision, because John's been playing for the last 2 or 3 years. So if you're going for playing the last 2 or 3 years and then all of a sudden not playing, I don't care. On a Saturday evening, it's so difficult if you've not played a game of football. It doesn't matter how much money you're on. If you've not played a game of football on a Saturday night, no matter whether your team's won or whatever, there's always a disappointment in you. You know, and I think that is the thing, that these boys keep playing games of football. Scott's a little bit different. He's at one of the biggest clubs in the world, with an unbelievable bank balance. You know, the manager trusts him, who's won a million trophies. So a manager trusts him, he keeps putting him on, and keeps putting him in the squad. He's getting an unbelievable athleticism as well. So we know, and we've seen his enthusiasm and the disappointment he had, you know, playing the Mexico game, because he played in the Peru game and missed the Mexico game through injury, and how hurt he was. And that sticks in your mind as well when you're selecting all these guys that are desperate to play for their country. And I think that's a thing that we've got to use, and as you say, make sure that if these guys are getting game time, it's fantastic for us, because there is nothing better when you turn up on the Sunday knowing that all of them have played 90 minutes and get through 90 minutes, because it means their game legs are ready, which is always important.
On Andrew Robertson and Kieran Tierney, obviously both are very positions. Are at left back, under the last regime, Kieran was often moved to the right hand side. Do you have to find a way to get them both in your team, and do you have an idea of doing that? Absolutely.
You know, and you've got to have your best players always playing available. People always said at the start it was going to be Scott McKenna, Kieran, Andy. All of a sudden we said, listen, just let's have the best players available. All of us got big Scott's out. And that's what can happen. We understand football, that's the way it works. You get a couple of injuries and all of a sudden you're, where do we go now? We've got an abundance of fantastic left-siders now, which is fantastic for us. You know, it used to be a lot of right-siders, no left-siders. Now it's probably the opposite way around about, you know, and it's great for us. Top players playing at the top of their game, and you always find a way for your best players.
Yeah, obviously it's a big week for the SFA and for the future of this place. Do you envy the guys that have got to make that huge decision?
Absolutely. We'll just leave it at that.
But I mean, obviously it's a place that you've had some of the biggest days of your life here. You come in.
Every young man, as Hampden was the place you came to see, but things move on, business moves on. Let that to be the powers of being, they'll make the decision. Hopefully it'll be the right decision for Scottish football.
Peter, do you feel that, I mean, if you look at the league table up here, Hearts at top of the board, but it's pretty tight in behind. The increased competition there appears to be, especially amongst the kind of the teams that you would expect to finish in the top 5 position. How much does that increase the competition as far as you guys are concerned in terms of what you're picking? Because you look at Hibs, Aberdeen, Rangers and Celtic at the moment, in terms of points, there's not much to choose between them at all.
I think it's fantastic for the Scottish game. I mean, I really do. I mean, as you know, I've been doing England for a long time now, and I think the Scottish game get knocked here and there. I must admit, it's a breath of fresh air coming up to watch the games up here. I really do, because a lot of young players playing, and I know at times it gets knocked for different things. And certain things we can't handle because of finances. Everybody knows the difference in finances. If you could all get the best players, it'd be fantastic. But the Scottish game's I think, is in a right good position at this moment in time. You say you're starting to get people challenging up again. You know, when I was here, it was right down to Dundee United. There was about 8 teams in the league that you knew every time you were going to play. It was a tough game. Home or away, you were always in a tough game. And then I felt the Scotland squad, then you looked at it and you went, wow, every player, oh, look at all the good players that was left out, wasn't even selected. And I hope we're going to get back to that. There's going to be a lot of players at Aberdeen, Hibs, you name it, all the way down, that's going to be able to play for Scotland. And they proved that in the summertime. We had Lewis Stevenson and that over in the summer with Hibs and that, who'd done exceptionally well. And be very disappointed probably not to be in the squad. But they'd done exceptional, you know, in the period of time. Young Stephen O'Donnell come over, done terrific. You're coming out for Kilmarnock, so it proves it now, and I think that can only be good for us. And if we get that challenge in the Scottish game up here, that everybody's challenging, fighting week in, week out. You look at the game yesterday, it was a great advert for Scottish football. Rangers and Motherwell game, fantastic advert. You know, it had everything, every bit, different types of teams, the way they play, but great for the Scottish game, you know, and I hope that continues and we have young Scottish players coming through and being part of that. And if we can do that and make the national team stronger, everybody will be happy.
Also, as someone who's based down south, maybe got a different perception on it. Steven Gerrard's impact in Scottish football and on Rangers, we appear to be on the up, and obviously it's the first Old Firm game this weekend. What's been the kind of thought and the reaction to what he's doing from a kind of English perspective? Because maybe a lot of people wouldn't have thought that would be his first club of choice. Well,
it's like everything else. I went, as I say, 21 years I think I've been down there now, and everybody talks about this and that in Scottish football and English football. And I'll tell you, outside Manchester United, there's no pressure like Celtic and Rangers. And all the time I've been down there, you know, they can kid themselves on, all the other clubs. Celtic and Rangers, probably outside, as I say, Manchester United, the pressure is unforgiving. Everything's looked at, everything's run over daily, minutes, you name it, and that doesn't happen to any other club. Some clubs go down the road and they're happy to get a point away from home. Celtic and Rangers go away from home, doesn't matter who they're playing, it's a bad result if you don't win. And Steven Gerrard coming here, I don't care what club he goes to. He'll be very lucky to go and manage a club the size of Rangers, as in the fan base and everything else it's got. You're very, very lucky if you manage another club like that, with the support base and whatever. The history that they have got, the history that Celtic have got, what Brendan's got. Brendan's proved it with Celtic, he proved it with Liverpool, you know, but let me tell you, the fan base that these clubs got, and I think out with Manchester United, the pressures in managing Celtic and Rangers or playing for Celtic and Rangers is completely different from anything else down there. And I think that's something we should be proud of, you know, make sure that everybody knows that, because you see it all over the world. Wherever you go, you'll bump into a Rangers fan or a Celtic fan, wherever you go, you'll do that. That's why you got all the image rights getting sold abroad. Celtic and Rangers don't need to do that anymore, because they're worldwide anyway for many, many, many years. And I think that's something we should never lose sight of. That is fantastic for the Scottish game and something that the Scottish game should be proud of.